Imagine waking up one morning, scrolling through the charts, and realizing you missed the exact moment the markets turned. That feeling in your stomach, that heavy regret of knowing the move already happened, and all the profit was left on the table. Now, what if I told you that the biggest opportunity of the year is right in front of you, from September all the way into December, and that this window of time has historically been one of the most profitable stretches in the market? If you've ever felt like you entered too late, or that the market keeps moving without you, then pay close attention, because this time you actually have the chance to be early. There's a pattern, almost like a hidden rhythm, that repeats in the markets year after year. Professional traders, institutions, hedge funds, they know this rhythm, and they quietly position themselves before the rest of the world catches on. September to December has been the engine of massive rallies, the kind that change accounts, the kind that transform confidence, and the kind that make people look back in January thinking, why didn't I lock in when I had the chance? I don't want that to happen to you. I still remember one of my own trades years ago, stepping into September with hesitation. The chart was screaming opportunity, but fear held me back. I waited, I second-guessed, and I missed it. By the time I realized, the move was already halfway done, and the profits that could have changed my month were gone. That moment branded itself into my memory, and ever since, I promised myself I would never ignore the September to December window again. And when I finally locked in, the results were beyond anything I expected. This chapter, and the ones to follow, will walk you through why this time of year matters, what drives the price action to be so powerful, and how you can position yourself to not only avoid regret, but to actually capture the kind of profits most traders only dream about. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be prepared. And that's exactly what we'll do together now. Before we dive deeper, I want you to know, I share my exact market analysis, my personal trades, and my strategies in real time inside my Discord. If you want to be connected to a community of traders who aren't guessing, but actually following smart setups, that's where you need to be. The link is waiting for you. So let's begin this journey, because the markets between September and December don't wait for anyone. If you're ready to understand the setup, the psychology, and the numbers that make this window so powerful, then stay with me. By the end of this chapter, you'll see why this period is called the Golden Quarter, and why missing it might just be the most expensive mistake of your trading year. When you think about markets, you often think about randomness, uncertainty, and chaos. But here's the truth most traders never realize. Behind the candles, behind the noise, there's a seasonal pulse, a heartbeat that moves the markets in predictable ways. And from September through December, that pulse gets louder. Let me explain. Every year, as summer ends, the big money starts moving again. Hedge funds, institutions, and asset managers who spent the quiet summer months holding back suddenly begin allocating billions. They aren't gambling, they're positioning. They're setting themselves up to ride into the new year with power. And here's the catch. They don't wait until December to do it. The real positioning begins in September. Think about it like this. Imagine a massive ship that's been sitting idle in the harbor. It takes time for it to build momentum, but once it moves, nothing can stop it. That's exactly how market trends form in this period. Slow, deliberate accumulation in September, an acceleration in October, a breakout in November, and then the full force hitting by December. This cycle has repeated more times than most retail traders can count, and yet they keep missing it, because they're distracted by the noise of the moment. Now, Let me share a quick story with you. A friend of mine, also a trader, ignored this seasonal pattern for years. He'd scalp here and there, catch a small move, lose some back, the usual cycle. But last year, he decided to do something different. He locked in positions early in September, trusted the data, and simply held with patience. By December, his account had grown by over 60%. And when I asked him how it felt, he just laughed and said, "I can't believe I ignored this window for so long." The truth is, the September to December stretch is like a secret weapon for those who prepare. If you're waiting until the move is obvious, it's already too late. The edge is being early, being positioned, and letting time do the heavy lifting. And remember, you don't have to figure this out alone. Inside my Discord, I break down the actual setups I'm watching, the levels I'm targeting, and the strategies I use to take advantage of this exact window. You don't need to chase, you don't need to panic, you just need a clear plan, and that's what I share there. So ask yourself, do you want to be the trader who looks back in January wishing you had acted? Or do you want to be the one who steps into the new year already ahead, already in profit, already confident? Because the choice is here, and the time is now. Stay with me, because in the next chapter, we're going to dig into the actual mechanics, the data, the psychology, and the numbers that make September through December so much more powerful than the rest of the year. This is where the story becomes strategy, and where you'll start to see exactly why this season isn't just good. It's golden. You know, it's easy to say that September through December is powerful, but let's take the mystery out of it. Let's look at the real mechanics of why this season works, and why the price action is different compared to the rest of the year first. Think about human behavior. The market is not just numbers, it's psychology. By September, traders, investors, and institutions come back from the summer lull. Vacations end, capital is redeployed, and suddenly the volume returns. This is why you often see breakouts that failed in August suddenly catch fire in September. The money flow changes, and price follows money second. There's the earnings cycle. Companies report third-quarter earnings in October, and that reporting season often sets the tone for the rest of the year. Strong reports push indexes higher. Weak ones spark rotation. But either way, the volatility creates massive opportunities. Traders who know how to ride the wave can make in weeks what others fail to make all year. And third, don't forget the end-of-year effect. Fund managers have to show performance. They don't want to step into December showing weak results. That's why they pile in, locking in gains, chasing returns, and amplifying trends. This pressure cooker of activity is what creates the strong, decisive moves we see over and over again in the last quarter. But let me bring this to life with a story. Back in 2020, during one of the most uncertain years in market history, something incredible happened. By September, sentiment was shaky, but institutions quietly started buying. The media was full of fear, yet the charts told a different story. Those who recognized the pattern rode the wave into November and December, catching moves so strong that they defined the year for traders who positioned correctly. One trader I knew turned a modest account into a six-figure sum just by respecting the seasonal rhythm and holding through the noise. That's the thing. The market rewards patience and preparation more than raw intelligence. You don't need to predict the news. You just need to understand the mechanics. September to December isn't magic. It's structure. It's flow. And if you align yourself with it, you're no longer fighting the market. You're moving with it, and here's where it gets even better. Inside my Discord, I break down these flows in real time. I share the exact levels I'm watching, the setups that institutions are likely eyeing, and how to manage positions through both volatility and trend. It's like having the map while everyone else is wandering blind. So as we move forward, keep This in mind, the September through December window is not just an opportunity, it's an edge. And in trading, having an edge is everything. Without it, you're just flipping coins. With it, you can change your results, your confidence, and your future. Stay tuned. Because in the next chapter, I'm going to show you how to position yourself, practically, step by step, to not just watch this season unfold, but to actually take advantage of it. We're moving from why to how, and that's where the real transformation begins. Now that you understand why September to December is such a powerful window, let's talk about the how. Because knowledge without action is just potential left on the table. The traders who win in this season aren't just the ones who see the opportunity, they're the ones who step in with a plan. The first step is positioning. Think of it like planting seeds before harvest. You don't wait until the crop is fully grown to start. You plant when the soil is fertile. September is that fertile soil. This is when you identify the sectors and setups that are likely to benefit from the coming wave. Maybe it's technology leading a rally, maybe it's commodities breaking out, or maybe it's currencies setting up for sharp moves. The key is to spot the setups before they go mainstream. The second step is patience. Too many traders sabotage themselves by jumping in and out, chasing every tick. But during this season, the real money is made by holding through the noise. Institutions don't scalp, they build positions. They let time compound their advantage. If you want to align with them, you have to think bigger than the 5-minute chart, and the third step is risk management. This is the anchor that keeps your ship steady when the waves get high. Yes, September through December is powerful, but that doesn't mean every trade is a winner. The difference is that the trends tend to carry further, and if you manage your downside, your upside takes care of itself. Let me tell you a story to bring this home. A trader I mentored a few years ago used to blow up accounts by overtrading. He hated holding positions because every dip made him nervous. But one September, I challenged him. Pick one setup, size it properly, and hold it until December unless your stop is hit. He reluctantly agreed. That single trade paid him more than his last 20 scalps combined. Why? Because he stopped trying to outsmart the market and started flowing with it. That's what I want for you. To stop the cycle of regret, of missed moves, of overthinking, and to start experiencing what happens when preparation, patience, and positioning all come together. And if you're wondering, where do I even start? That's why I built my Discord. Inside, I lay out the levels I'm watching, I share my own setups, and I update the community in real time as price action develops. You don't have to figure it out alone. You just need to plug into a space where strategy replaces guesswork. Here's the truth. The next few months can either be the most profitable quarter of your year or another stretch of missed opportunity. The difference lies in whether you prepare now or wait until the move is obvious. Stay with me, because in the next and final chapter, I'm going to paint the full picture of what your trading life could look like if you seize this season. What it feels like to step into January not with regret, but with momentum. That vision is closer than you think. Picture this. It's the first week of January. The holidays are over. The world is waking up to a new year, and you open your trading account. But instead of seeing frustration or losses, instead of that familiar sting of regret, you see growth. You see profits. You see the results of a decision you made back in September, the decision to act when others hesitated. That's what this season is really about. It's not just about catching a trade. It's about changing the story you tell yourself. Too many traders start each year already behind, already chasing, already weighed down by the mistakes of the last quarter. But imagine starting ahead, with confidence, with clarity, with proof that you can do this. That changes everything, not just your account, but your mindset. I've seen it happen again and again. Traders who doubted themselves, who thought they'd never figure it out, finally took advantage of the September to December window, and it became the turning point of their journey. One decision, one season, one stretch of price action that rewrote their entire trading identity. The question is, will you let this be your turning point? Or will you let it slip by again, only to look back in January with that familiar ache of, what if? Here's the truth. Opportunities don't knock twice. The market doesn't wait. The September through December stretch is unfolding whether you act or not. But the traders who prepare, who lock in now, who trust the process, they're the ones who will step into the new year already winning, and you don't have to do it alone. Inside my Discord, I share my live market analysis, my trading strategies, and the exact setups I'm watching. It's a space where you can learn, position, and grow alongside other traders who are serious about making this season count. If you're ready to stop guessing and start profiting, that's where you need to be. So here's my invitation. Don't wait until it's obvious. Don't wait until the headlines scream rally or crash. By then, it's too late. Position yourself now. Align with the flow, and let this golden quarter work in your favor. When you look back months from now, I want you to remember this moment. The moment you chose to prepare. The moment you decided not to miss the move. The moment you stepped into September with focus and walked into January with profits. This is your season. Make it count.